Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting Emily Bassett, founder of startemup, a marketing agency specializing in helping startups and small to medium businesses ignite their marketing efforts. With a background in forensic science and a passion for traveling and networking, Emily turned her diverse experiences to a thriving career in marketing, empowering businesses to kickstart their growth journeys. How are you doing today, Emily?
Good. How are you, Anthony?
Pretty good, pretty good. We haven't got the bad weather yet, so I'm good. And if we did, it's not like my commute from the kitchen to the office is too terrible back in the winter, so I
Yeah,
can't complain. How
we
about you?
actually
Where,
do have a snowstorm today, so
yeah, yeah, where are you located?
up in Fernie, BC. So just on the other side of the border there. But yeah, we've been skiing for a few weeks and yeah, it's coming down today for sure.
Awesome, awesome. So, what do you do for fun up there? What's fun in that neck of the woods?
Yeah, snowboarding is a big one for myself, like snowboarding and skiing. So all like alpine downhill. We do some cross country as well, which is a very humorous sport. If you've never done it, it's like there's, you know, it's quite easy to be uncoordinated with it. So it tends to be a good day. And then people do a lot of like sledding and stuff around as well.
Okay, so all winter sports.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. In the summer we hike. We're right in the mountain range.
Mhm.
But yeah, winter is all winter sports for sure.
I got you. Are you originally from that area, or are you newer to it?
I've been here for about 4 years. I grew up in Toronto area, but I haven't lived in Toronto for yeah, like 15 years. I definitely like went off to university and then started traveling and I visit mom, but that's about it.
I got you. Awesome. So, what can you tell us about Stardom Up?
Yeah, so Startup Up is a full service marketing agency. I was actually working as the CMO for a startup out in Denmark. And I had sort of like obviously built up my marketing career to get there. And it was really interesting, the startup community. Out in Europe, there's startup awards, there's a lot more like innovators and like different programs where you can just like build up businesses. And I was doing that for a long time. The company was in tourism though. So unfortunately, in 2020, it completely died. And there was, we weren't sure what was going to happen with it. But I did end up moving back to Canada and had to kind of figure out what the next move was. So ended up just doing some freelancing. So my main areas are like branding, marketing strategy development, social media, this and that. So I just started working with some people. Said, everyone had to go online in 2020 in order to survive. So it ended up just like really building up quick. And then I connected with my business partner who does all the other sides of marketing. So the ads, the back end website, development, all of that stuff. So at first we were kind of just both offering our services and helping each other out. And then in 2021, we ended up incorporating together so that we can actually offer a full service marketing agency. The main thing we find with that is just that we can take a holistic approach to your strategy because we're never funneling you to just do social or just do ads or just do whatever. If we see a service isn't benefiting you, then it makes sense for us to shift services that is more aligned with your industry. So that's kind of been the focus since then. We say our unique selling factor is that we actually care about you and we really try and sort of join into your team and be like an active member of your team. So it's been going great. We have 6 full-time staff now all over Canada. We work with clients internationally, dominantly Canada and the States, but we do have some in Europe as well and one in New Zealand. So we really do reach the edges of the globe. But yeah, it's been really great and it's awesome watching businesses grow and thrive.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the holistic approach. Just because somebody thinks, "Oh, this is the way that I should be marketing." Well, it's not working. Let's try something that actually
Yeah.
is. So that's awesome. So what's your favorite thing about what you're doing?
I think just learning about all the different businesses that exist. So it's funny people ask if we've kind of niched down, and we certainly have areas that we have a lot more experience in and different things like that, which is awesome. But truly, marketing strategy at its core, the rules to the game are the same, right? The execution is, of course, different. So we do get approached by different companies of all different sorts. Even an e-commerce company, one to the next is very different. So I found, you really learn the inner workings. Like marketing gets to know everything, right? They get to know the sales, they get to know the margins, they get to know all of this stuff. So it's not as though, I started a marketing agency, but I get to see how you start hundreds of different companies and the models. And then we get to tweak on like the target audience is also then different. So it's like, okay, how do we reach those people then? So it's never a day where you're just like button pushing and doing the same mindless thing, right? Like there is a lot of having to brainstorm and think about things and do research and stuff. I know you probably have similar interactions with people. It's not just about like, oh, well, this is exactly how it's done every time, right? It's like you have to really think outside the box, which is great.
So you don't just work with startups, you also work small, medium businesses. What different challenges are startups facing when it comes to, marketing as opposed to something that's been established for at least a few years?
Yeah, for sure. So the startups are definitely like where my heart lies, but we see so much success with the small medium enterprises that it's like, of course, we want to work with them as well. But the startups are in a position where they have to wear a lot of hats. Hiring your first person is very daunting. How do you hire? What do you do? And all of that. So, as a marketing agency, we get to be a contractor. So, someone, we're right off. And then we get to look at where you are struggling the most and build a strategy for it. So, again, what's kind of unique about us is we're not one size fits all. So, if you really like copywriting, you're like, you know what, I could write 12 blogs tomorrow, but make me design a social post? No way. We'll adjust our package so that we can accommodate what you're willing to do. It's not like, minimum $3,000 a month or we're not working together. Like we do take on small contracts as well. It's just a different engagement. And we really say, like, we really try to meet you with where you're at. And then what's happened with lots of clients, and it's always the goal, is the busier we can make you, the more we can help you grow. You obviously then want to offboard more of the marketing tasks, and then you can focus on what you do best, so we can focus on what we do best. So, yeah, so that's been kind of a unique element of the startup specifically that we can help with.
Yeah, I really like that grow with you kind of mentality. Um,
Yeah.
awesome. So when you're meeting a startup, a lot of times I imagine they probably try and do it themselves at first. What are some of the biggest mistakes a lot of them are making that you see?
Uh, Two huge ones are paying thousands of dollars for a marketing course. I hate to like it's not that there aren't good ones. It's more about your mindset going into the course. Like, do you want to be your own marketer? Yes or no? Because for $5,000, you can get a lot from a marketing agency, right? So it's like you learning how to do this all requires you to remember it, requires you to want to do it, requires you to have the tools to do it. So I just find so many people will waste so much money and they're like a soap maker or a baker, these and at the end of the day, like so stick with what you're good at and then hire for the help is definitely what it's not that I don't want you to understand the inner workings of the marketing, but even doing like we'll do consultations, I'll do even a bit of coaching, like hiring a person that's actively doing it is just so much better. And on top of it, it's not marketing's not, one size fits all. So if you do a course, it's usually set up for one size fits all. So it's like you're not getting that customized experience where we have like a marketing strategy breakdown that's, a few $100s, not a few thousand. And we actually go through every component of your business and then hand you over a plan. So that's just like, I don't know, it makes me a little bit sad when it's like someone just paid 5 grand on this course, did it for 6 months. They're not gotten anywhere. Now I'm asking them for more money because obviously I need to. And then the other one is almost trying to like pick different people for every single thing. So, um, what I mean by that is like I mean, I don't know if your community all knows Fiverr or like these Upwork, these different platforms to find freelancers. Super awesome. I mean, I was on there in the beginning, so good people are on there for sure. But there's a lot of like very specialized services. There's one person for just your logo, one person for just your brand kit, one person for just your ad creative, and then your ad copy, and then you're this, and then you're that. And what happens is all of those people are going to look at you as being the expert. So if you're not confident in your marketing strategy, and now you're paying for all these people to execute a strategy that you don't even know up from down on, again, it's just like you're just wasting money. And the problem is you don't know how to fix it if it's not what you like. So, like, I was literally talking to a client yesterday, a new client, and he had paid someone to fix his Wix site, and they put him on some sort of agency account. And every time there's some update, he has to go back, pay them $100 to do it because they've kind of bottlenecked him into this thing where he can't do any of it. He can't fix any of it, but it consistently breaks because of something on their end. So yeah. And then I guess like very last thing is not having the rights to everything because oh my gosh, like just own everything. If anybody tells you they'll build a website and they'll own the domain and they'll own the server and they'll own the thing and you don't have admin access, like I go so far to say it's a scam. Like it's because what happens is if you leave them, you lose your whole website and it is like not uncommon, which is so sad. So you are tied to those people forever and you don't own your own thing. So, and some people put like $10,000 into a site and then leave an agency because they're charging $2,000 a month to maintain it. And now you just lost $20,000 more. So, you should always own everything. If you ever work with someone who doesn't let you own your own stuff, then like I'd be weary to work with them. So
Yeah, that would be a little bit shady where it's like, oh no, you'll just rent it from it. Well, it's all my stuff, and then they kind
yeah.
of have you over a barrel there. So, no, that's good. That's good advice. People don't know what they don't know, and they might be starting a business because they're really good at whatever they're doing, and the rest is just prime real estate
Yeah.
for somebody to kind of take advantage of.
And with startups specifically, like they love that element of being like, I don't understand it at all. You take it all over. And and that you just can't do that. You have to, you don't need to understand much, but you need to make sure it's yours. You need to make sure you are still the one in control, to a certain degree. Even with like bookkeeping and accounting, I've struggled with it where I'm just like, somebody do all of this for me. And my accountant was like, no, you need to understand all of this. Like, I'm sorry, but you got to know the ins and outs because it's going to affect your business in different ways. And I'm very thankful that they were, at the time I didn't think I was thankful, but and now I certainly am. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You definitely want to have at least a baseline understanding of what's going on. So okay, so you said you kind of work with different industries and stuff, but what's kind of your avatar of a startup or somebody that if they're going through XYZ, you're definitely the people that they should be getting in contact with.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think like we play on our name, like start them up, like let's go. So we kind of look at that as two ways. So one is, you're literally starting a business and you need a team to support you, like your first team you're working with. And then the other one is if you feel like you've kind of plateaued and you want something different, then that would be the two kind of like feelings that we would say if that's where you're feeling with your marketing, you've tried a few things, then definitely give us a call. Um, the other thing is like we work with a lot of, or we find that there are people that work with um, freelancers that, like I said, like they're kind of just like they are executing a strategy that you are handing them. So if your marketing team that you're working with is not coming up with any strategy and they're not like developing the strategy and you're finding that your own strategy isn't strong enough because you don't have the education, that's where agency just like really shines because you're getting so many people for the price of one person, like even depending on what type of company you are, like our agency fees for our team can be less than hiring a full-time person, right? So and you get multiple brains. So I'm not claiming to be, I'm not even my own SEO expert. I have someone that day in, day out, he's watching the algorithm updates. He's like on the phone with Google, he's the SEO expert. So, yeah, so I definitely think that is like sort of the benefit to doing that with an agency. But yeah, like I said, in regards to niche, we do a lot with health and wellness, a lot with food, and sort of like event. I want to say restaurants, but it's almost more event spaces. Like we work with like lodges, like that you would have a wedding at or a large event at or conference at. Like we have a few of those. And those we've all like, we almost have like tested and true case studies ready to go. We've worked a lot with individuals as well. So, coaches, nutritionists, those type of things. And those are quite cool because you can have, pretty much just if you're a one person show, then working with an agency like us, and then, maybe an accountant for your financial side, and that can kind of be your team lifelong, right? Because you're not looking to expand to the same degree as some of the other types of companies. Um, so yeah, we definitely see that a lot. Um, yeah, I feel like that's, we do work with a lot of e-commerce as well, but I think if I had to choose our most dominant groupings, that's what we work with. Um,
Okay, I got you. What about power partners? What are other industries or other, specialties that you might synergize well with, where you handle your piece, they handle their piece, and you guys are able to refer back and forth with?
Yeah, so we say that honestly, we work with other marketing agencies, no problem. Like if you have an ads person, you really like them, cool, no problem. We're not trying like I think marketing is such a beast that it's like more heads in the game is awesome. But specifically for industries, PR, like we don't do PR. Like PR is definitely a piece of lots of large marketing strategies. So love a good PR team, love working with them. They really work pretty harmoniously with like our SEO strategies, so that's awesome. Um, Funny enough, like you can put this as a call out to any good influencer managers because influencer management is not something we are trying to do internally, but we have not found a good partner in that area. And I don't know if anyone's not saying no one's going to be good at it, but I know it's very reliant on the influencers, right? So we've done a lot of influencer stuff because obviously it's the way of the land right now with reviews and different things like that. But it's painful that they're not always reliable. And I would love to be the person that's not responsible for following up with them and that type of stuff. So similar to PR, where PR has like a media, all the connections in media and this and that. I know there are people out there that have a bunch of influencers in their pot. We've worked with some and it's been fine, but definitely someone we could work really well with. And then sales teams. So marketing is not sales, sales is not marketing. There's still that world of like cold calling and this and that, and even just the sales pitches. So we work really great with like, we'll attract the customers, we'll send you all the leads, do your lead calls and close your deals. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, what advice would you give a small business that's wanting to kickstart their marketing on a budget?
Yeah, so to kickstart your marketing on a budget, I would definitely say to start small, test different things, and then as those tests come back, then scale it. So you can literally run a boost for $20, $50. If that boost does really well, then look at doing more of it. So don't start big from the beginning at all.
Test the waters before you kind of throw money at it, is what you're saying.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What makes social media marketing so essential for startups?
Social media marketing is essential just for the fact that it's sort of where everybody is in the digital world. So it's a really big credibility tool. I'm not going to say that social media management is going to be your number one converting platform, because oftentimes it's not, but it's you being in the room, it's you being present. The more you can build up your accounts, the more sort of like of a credibility factor it is. Um, a really strong social media strategy obviously can still see lots of sales. So that's the other side of it. Um, but yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to add?
Um, I think the just like a last little comment is just about um marketing strategies as a whole. So we find a lot of times people will just think I need ads or I need SEO or I need something. And I think just like if it's not your expertise areas, definitely going to chat with someone first is a good place to start. But like a little hack that you can use is if someone has to constantly search for your business, then that's Google. So that's your SEO, that's Google ads, that's sort of the Google world. And frankly, like social media management doesn't necessarily have to be on your on your top of your list. Email marketing is great for all practices or like all strategies. But if you have to almost like inspire someone to buy, so like some pink heels, some, a new phone or something like that, and you're inspiring the purchase, that's where social media really comes into play. So, we've all been there, we're scrolling, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, let's go and find it. So that's when, yeah, you want a really strong social media campaign. You might want ads, but SEO might actually not be the top of your list because who's Googling pink heels, so just like really understanding like what your strategy is before you jump into hiring a bunch of different people is definitely kind of a last piece of advice I have for anyone out there getting started.
Okay. After somebody's, put together their strategy and are ready to have a conversation with, for instance, you guys, what's the best way that they reach you?
Yeah, so we do have a website where you can book a call directly with us. So it's startemup.ca. Um, and you can also just shoot me an email direct. So super happy to chat there or book us in a call. So it's just my last name, which is Bassett, Bassett at startemup, startemup.ca. And like I said, we do work with people internationally, even though we are a fully Canadian company.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll put all that in the description so people don't have to try and spell
Cool.
it out because I'd misspell it 100% of the time. So we'll make it as
Totally
easy
cool.
as possible. So perfect. But yeah, if anybody would like to reach out to Emily, absolutely do it. Marketing, it's a big area. And if you're not wanting to do it yourself, uh, it's better to find people that are experts at it to make sure that you're going to get it done right instead of trying to just, I'll figure it out and I'm going to spend all this money just to come back to the same spot. So absolutely book that call, have that conversation, just see how it could impact you. Worst case scenario, you walk away with a little bit more education. If somebody's a little bit more shy and they prefer an introduction, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to make the three-way introduction for you. Other than that, if anybody out there would like to be interviewed, you'll be able to find my link tree in the description as well. Feel free to grab a time. Love to have a conversation. But other than that, Emily, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your expertise with us. I know a lot of us are super confused when it comes to marketing. I can barely spell it even. So having somebody that's an expert is really, really handy. So let's all get out there, help some people and meet some more folks. All right.
Totally. Thanks so much.